Afternoon, TNT Super Fantastic Family. Today is Friday, February 8th, 2019. Yours truly, Raymond 98 here, along with.
Okay, good morning, TNT. It's another beautiful day, at least in California. Some of y'all might be freezing, but I'm thinking about going out and getting in the pool today. But other than that, Ray, what's going on?
Oh, nothing much. It's been quiet. So
Quiet,
no updates
quiet.
went
We
out
got no
since
blast,
our
no
last
update.
get-together.
Okay, guys. There's no update because there's no information coming out, with the exception of there's a lot of wind noise or something that we hear. Is it my phone? Your phone?
No, I'm not in
Somebody
any wind.
driving down the street. Oh. Well, that's what it sounds like. There's a lot of noise there, though.
No. Let's see.
You don't hear
Our
it?
lines are the only ones that are open. No.
There, just went away. Okay, there, just
I didn't do
anyway. All right, guys. Anyway, all we know is articles coming out this morning is saying that the budget will be in the paper midweek. So our question is, what is midweek? And midweek should be Monday or Tuesday. Their midweek, not our midweek, since it wasn't in there yesterday. Is that what we're still waiting for? As far as I know, that's the only thing we're waiting for is the budget to be in the Gazette and become law, and it's still saying it will go into effect immediately upon publication. So, yeah, that's a whole lot of noise. I don't know what we're going to do about that. Maybe you need to call me back or something.
Okay, but you're hearing it. No one's reporting to me any noise
I'm
on the
hearing
line.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm hearing
Do you
a
want
whole
to try
lot
that?
of noise.
We can try reconnecting if it's distracting you.
Yeah, it is. Sounds like somebody driving down the street with their car window open.
All right. Let's try reconnecting. Everyone stand by just a moment. All right, you're back.
Still there. So,
Okay, some folks are telling me there's noise, but I don't hear it, so...
They say it sounds like it's my phone.
No, some people are texting in now saying it's very noisy, but it must be...
It is.
Okay, I'm getting much better. It's on... Okay.
All better. Noisy here. Have Ray mute. That's right. It's Ray. I know it's him too.
You think so? Let me see.
Mute your phone. There you go. It went away. See? I knew it. It went away. Okay, so while it's quiet, let me talk to you guys about some stuff. I don't know what, though, because Ray got all the questions. So, anybody else want to text me something? Okay, we got the newest. I got it. You got to stop texting. It's distracting. Sorry. There you go. Okay, I don't know what we're going to do about Ray. So, maybe he'll text me the questions, and then we can go on or something. Ray, you're still on mute.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah. I would say ask me the question and then mute.
Oh no, I'm doing a different. Oh, it's a new headset. Maybe it's causing the problem. That line's still on mute. You don't hear it now, do you?
Oh yeah. No, I don't hear it now. That was a lot of noise. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
All right, let's go.
I don't know. I had to get a new headset the other day, but I've been using it a full day with no problems. But we can work it this way for right. Continue on, sir.
I was waiting for you to start the questions.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if you had any more opening monologue. Let's see. Ham
no,
Delphi
there's
is it still true that one must be a bona fide resident of the USA to exchange in the U.S., despite being a dual citizen of the U.S.?
Okay, if you're a dual citizen and you're in the U.S., I would think you would be a bona fide resident of the U.S. If you're a citizen of the U.S. and you live here. So I don't understand that question.
Me either. I mean, whatever the banks require for you to have an account, because that's all that's going to be necessary, I thought. As long as you have a banking account, they'll exchange it. And if you don't have one, they'll create one for you if you have the necessary documentation. That's my understanding. Okay, Burbank Lou says, any update on what the contractors are paying?
No, they have not started paying the one-to-one. That's what you're asking. Talked to them this morning. They have not.
Light Spirit says, are the new notes being utilized in Iraq?
No. The new notes are not being used. They have not been distributed.
Prime 32 says, if Tony's definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result, then why are we doing this same scenario? Because you're the insane one asking the question. The rest of us know what we're doing. 9-ball. If a bank does exchange with them, how long do you suggest we wait before spending any of the money?
I'd wait. I mean, there's 24 hours. Wait and see if they got verified. Or ask them when you're in there doing your exchange, how long is it going to take you to verify this currency? If they say, I just did it, then you're free to go. If they say it takes us 48 hours to have it verified, then wait the 48 hours before you start spending the money. Now, I don't know if you're going to spend, $1 million a day or $2 million in one day or 48 hours or whatever it is, but I hope you have enough dinar and dong to cover that anyway. You wouldn't be spending any Zim money at all. So let's wait and see what happens. Okay?
Okay. LV for Texas is referencing your article on TransferWise. You put something on TransferWise?
I didn't put anything on TransferWise. I don't even know what that is.
Me either. All right, so no need to answer that question. I don't know what they're talking about. Sun 34, is there a difference between printing the budget in the Gazette and opening the budget? If so, how does that affect seeing the new rate?
They print the budget in the Gazette, and they say it takes effect. That would be opening the budget. We are hoping right now, with all our might and everything else, when they do that, it also converts it to the new rate. I know that is the plan. That's what everybody's being told. But it is Iraq, and God knows what might happen. But right at this moment, they should do the budget. CBI should change the rate. The RV should begin. We should be going to the bank. All in one fell swoop. That's what should be happening. That's what everybody is planning for right now. And we'll have to wait and see what happens.
All right. Global Teas says, is the Iraqi government paying out the oil revenue royalties, to qualified citizens?
Nobody's gotten any payments yet that I know of on the HCL or anything else. And because it's in the budget, don't think it will happen until the budget is open and approved. People didn't get paid back in September when they were supposed to. They didn't get paid in December, and they're not being paid in February so far.
Okay, and it goes on to ask, what does HCL stand for?
The hydrocarbon law. Yeah. Anyway.
Okay. Sherry, 123. do you know the difference of ZWL versus ZWD for Zimbabwe? It says, I know the ZWD is still showing as non-exchangeable, but the ZWL is. No.
ZWL is exchangeable?
Well, that's what this sentence is saying.
I'll tell you. Yeah. I'll tell you what the bank is saying. They're saying none of that currency is over here. So none of the Zimbabwe currency is here to exchange. So we're going to be exchanging something. It's going to be the hundreds and the 50 trillion notes that we have. Since I don't have any ones, fives, and tens Zimbabwe notes. That's all I know we can exchange when it comes time. All right.
All right. Pygmy 577 says, have your contacts said anything about this taking longer due to tax discussions in the government?
I think somebody put that on Twitter. Has nothing to do with what we're doing here, guys. Nothing to do with our tax situation. The whole world's not being held up. Countries are not being held up. Global economy is not being held up till 2020, till we change our tax laws or anything else. That is not what's going on. So, by definition, we know what's been going on. It was the ministers. It was Iraq, Iran, the whole situation, what currency they were going to use to trade with, which they just made a deal yesterday. I mean, we knew they had to use the dinar. It says that the international rate in the article that they're going to be using that. So, well, it says international in the article. And we knew that was the only rate that it made any sense. If they're using dollars now, they're not going to give them a bunch of worthless dinar. So they're going to have to revalue the dinar. So all that has occurred this week. Hopefully it gets put in the newspaper midweek, like they say, and we can go on. So those things are resolved as far as what currencies they're going to deal with, how it's going to go, the sanctions. They came over here. They got their instructions. They know what they can do, what they can't do. They went back and met with Iran. They made their deal. I think we're past that at this point. Okay, what's next, sir?
Sunstar says, any feedback from any other store vendors in the USA or Iraq?
No, all we got, guys, from Iraq is on Iraq TV this morning. They said that the budget wasn't approved correctly. They didn't go through the right steps, and that they were going to take it to court, and it could take up to 3 months to see the budget if they take it to court. Could take up to 3 months. Now, that was on TV in Iraq this morning. The news articles have come out today and said the budget has been approved, been signed, been sent to the Gazette, should be published midweek, and goes into effect immediately. So one of those is right and one of those is wrong, and we're going to see which one, all right? But it's Iraq, and that's why we can never be sure. Okay, right?
Okay, let's see. Do you know what dinar rate Iraqi visitors are receiving on their ATM cards in the USA?
No, haven't talked to him for weeks or months, or since the last time we did, when he got notified of the rate change. So I can't quote it because I don't remember what it was, because I think that was way back before Christmas or Thanksgiving when I gave it to you guys. But I have not talked to him.
All right. Sunstar's last question. Can the foundation reap any rewards, benefits, or tax breaks from the state or federal government that we should be looking into? No more than what you already know.
We have no idea what you just said. I don't.
You can hear
me or
what?
It might just be me. Yeah, cutting out, faded away. Oh, no.
All right. How about now?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Go ahead.
Can a foundation reap any rewards, benefits, or tax breaks from the state or federal government? And I was saying no more than what I've already been sharing with folks. it's a charitable organization, so it's going to be tax exempt. Your private foundation should not be looking for anything from the government or the state, whereas any public foundations you create will. They can solicit for donations if it's a public charity, but your private one will not solicit and look for government handouts and state handouts. Now, if it comes, you can accept it. You're not supposed to be pursuing it. I mean, your private foundation is something that you put together for you, for your family, and you feed it, and you let it do what you want it to do. Okay, Lil Shippy says, will only full foreign currency branches be participating in the exchange process?
Will only full foreign currency branches. Guys, we don't know which branches are going to be in the process. There's going to be large ones, small ones. There's going to be branches that don't even look like banks in there. That is something you can ask them when you call them, if you choose to. They're going to tell you which branch to go to, which location to go to. Okay. That's the purpose of the 800 number and the direction, so you don't have to guess. Okay?
Okay. Gotta Pray says, regarding our negotiating with the bank at exchange time, you said we could potentially get a better rate if we agree to leave a certain percentage of our money in the bank. I'm wondering what, quote, in the bank, end quote, constitutes. Do you think that would include the money we put over on the wealth management or private banker side of the bank? And can we have a say as to how that money gets invested? Or does in the bank mean just sitting in a bank account drawing interest while the bankers use it as they wish?
Okay. So, if you have $100 million and you're basically telling the bank that I will leave $50 million over here that you can use, and I will leave it and not touch it for 5 years, what interest rate are you going to give me on that $50 million? Now, you can say I got $50 million and I'm going to put in my savings account and I'm going to spend it when I want to spend it and do everything else, so they can't count on that money because it could be gone in 2 days, 3 days, or 2-3 months. So they're going to give you a 5% interest rate. And I'm just making this up as an example so you guys will know. But then when you say I will do a 5-year agreement on this $5 or $50 million, but I need 10% to do that, then you're negotiating, or they're going to offer you whatever percentage it is. But then you can't touch it for that period of time. Now, what are they going to invest it in? You can say I want it invested in something secure or invested as you see, which, again, would be a higher interest rate instead of you picking something that they couldn't invest it in. So, you want to sit down, you want to talk to somebody, you want to ask questions about that, not just kind of jump into it while you're trying to do your exchange. Well, I guess you do. That is the time to do it when you're with your wealth manager, if you want to move that aside. But guys, don't try to see when you ask questions like that, telling you really don't know how to negotiate on it or what to look for when you go in there. And that's people getting into sometimes some things that they shouldn't. I'm trying to figure this out to you. I mean, I guess you're doing the right thing because you're asking the questions now. But what I would be doing is calling a bank and asking the questions right now. Calling a wealth manager or a personal banker, and I'm coming into some money, and how do I do this? Or what does this do? So you'll know, and you're getting it right from the horse's mouth. And I would have done that months ago, but that's what I thought I was going to do. But if not, I'd be doing it today. I'd be doing it this weekend. I'd be getting the pamphlets, reading them, and trying to get as much as I can get before this is announced. So I at least would go in there and let them think I know what I'm talking about, even if I didn't. Okay? All right, what's next?
Okay. Mr. Biggs 04. Looking at everything that has been going on, do you think that the rates people were saying were fluctuating were contract rates, and that's why they were only calling certain people into exchange?
No. I think they were the rates. And the rates are still there. So, and they haven't fluctuated that much. And the rates they see on their screen are going to be Forex rates or the average rate. Contract rate is going to be something they're going to be told, here, this is the max rate you can give them, or this is the contract rate. It's not going to be sitting on their screen. They're going to input it in the screen, and it's going to either accept it or reject it. Okay?
Okay. All right. Let's go to some live callers. First one, 865.
Okay.
Hi, guys. Appreciate your taking my call and appreciate the continued insights that you were providing to us. Tony, you had referenced, given that you're saying that it was not in Wednesday's Gazette of this week, but that they are expecting it midweek, and that midweek Iraqi terminology would put it as like Monday or Tuesday. Is that indicating that there could well be a special edition for the Gazette coming out, or could they be, more likely to even put it into tomorrow's Gazette, Saturday's Gazette?
Well, it says midweek, so here's our options. I mean, unless they do a special edition like you're saying, it's going to be Saturday or it's going to be next Wednesday, which
right.
I guess is still part of midweek. Now, I asked them what midweek is, and they said Monday or Tuesday. So I don't know that they would put out a special edition just to do that, though. So I'd probably look for Saturday is going in and becoming public, on Monday or something.
So we're seeing the possibility 50-50 for tomorrow's edition and Wednesday as being the back door.
Yeah, that would work. According to them, they said that now.
Okay. Given all of these delays and everything else, I appreciate the info that was being shared of what the Iraqi TV is communicating. Are they even bothering doing anything in the mosque with this, or what's the status there?
We're hearing nothing out of the mosque, no secret information, no instructions, because they're being very public about everything that they're doing. The CBI, when it does something, it's putting it in the news, in the newspaper, on TV over there. The government, the budget is, like I said, being broadcast on television over there, what's going on. So I don't see any reason for them to be in the mosque, because they're no longer hiding things from us. They're just doing it.
Mm-hmm. Or not doing it, as the case may be, right?
Or not doing it, yeah. I guess you're right, yeah.
There's been a lot of chitter-chatter in the last 24 hours over on this side of the pond, at least, with respect to the issues, quote-unquote, that Wells Fargo, Bank of America, some of the other banks had been having with their online banking and other situation. What sort of correlation, if any, could that be said to have with the GCR RV? Or am I wearing too many rose-colored RV glasses?
So Wells Fargo was down across the country, and everybody was waiting for him to come back up and saying, "This is it, the moment of truth." And I don't know if they're up to date or not. They probably are, because nobody's talking about it. But I will tell you, in Arizona, I did have a guy go to the bank, and he was all excited because the manager there told him that they were all down, because a bunch of currencies would get ready to change rates, and they wanted to make sure they were all correctly input in the system. So, yes, there was people waiting for that. Didn't happen, though. So maybe Wells Fargo just has a bad system. I don't know. But nothing came out of it, because we're still doing this call, right?
Right, and I keep always hoping that this will end up being the last call, and that the next call will be you guys coming in and giving us the directives and the like. Speaking of which, have there been any updates that you guys have received with respect to the 800 number protocols?
Nothing for the 800 numbers, nothing for the NDAs, and nothing for new procedures. So.
Okay. And are they giving the time frame of we're in this window or this door is soon to open? Are they even using those construction terminologies for us? And if so, what are they?
No, everybody has been really, really quiet. I mean,
okay.
Before they're there, they're on alert. I want to give you some good news. It's just not really time. Nobody's moving. Nobody's doing anything. Bank people are still on alert, and they are still working this weekend, but they worked last weekend. So there's nothing brand new to get us energized about because we're all just waiting. The best thing that has happened so far is the article came out today and said it should be in the paper in midweek. So I just need to really find out what day midweek is.
Right.
But that's the next thing
You've got 1
we're
in 7
for.
chance.
Okay. That's right. So
okay.
That's the best thing. Okay.
Well, appreciate it so much. And we can always dig up the old adage, no news is good news. So at this point, we've got the good news. So we appreciate that. And 10 days from whenever this is will be our Pay It Forward TNT Superfantastic or Pay It Forward project. And we look forward to that ever so much. Have a great day and a great weekend. May it be a super fantasticer one. Appreciate it.
Okay.
Thank you again, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right. 951, you're on.
Good afternoon. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good afternoon.
Good morning. How you doing?
Good, Tony. Hey, you had mentioned a couple, maybe last week or something, and it really stuck in my mind. I didn't even ask the question here. You had mentioned that it had come out with 190 billion, and then it was 133 trillion, and they made a mistake by putting that out there. And you said that's how you came up with 444. I do the math on 133 trillion divided by 190 billion, and I come up with 444. Now, I don't know, do I have to delete some zeros along the way, or how did you come up with that number?
Okay. It was 299 billion, and it was 133 trillion.
Okay. Okay, that's
so
where
I divided it, and it came up to 444. And then 2 days later, the bank told me the rate was 443. So 444, which I said okay. So I was close.
You were in the neighborhood. You're very
That's
close.
right.
Very close. Okay, so that's where I made my mistake with the 190 and the 299. Okay, so, and the billion. Then. Okay, fantastic. Okay, that is a very good piece of information as far as I'm concerned, because if that comes out, do you anticipate them displaying that in the Gazette, these 299 billion and 133 trillion, so we can see it then? Are you anticipating seeing that in the Gazette?
Yeah, they've already put the 133 trillion out there for everybody to see it. They've already broken it down, the entire budget in writing for everybody to see. So all that's already out there. The only thing that needs to happen is put it in the Gazette and then convert it over, which is what I'm told is going to happen. So we'll wait and see. But, yeah, they slipped up.
No. Yeah, yep. And you caught it, and that was great. Hey, on Sunday and Monday they have this investment conference down in Baghdad, February 10th and 11th. I mean, are they going to have this investment conference, or whatever you want to call it, at a program rate? Your opinion, please.
I don't know, because they've had all the rest of them at a program rate. But they go in there and tell them what they intend to do, when they intend to do it. We just not getting the information. That's all.
Right.
All I can really tell you guys is they want to start the reconstruction plans on the 1st of March. In order to do that and get the money, there has to be a new rate by the 1st of March. And that's their plan, if they're going to finally live up to a plan. I do not see everything happening the 1st of March. an RV, Lords and Arms, everything else starting the reconstruction. So it's going to have to be done sometime prior to that. So Monday or Tuesday is as good a time as any.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I appreciate that. And then are the banks on high alert still status, to your knowledge?
They are, and they're still working this weekend.
Okay. And okay. Well, then that's and they haven't said anything what the dates are. They're just going to be silent as far as the timing of the flipping of the switch. Then, correct?
They are solid because for the last 2 weeks they've been telling us we should have been there Tuesday. It was supposed to go last Saturday. It didn't go. So there's no windows. There's nothing. They're just sitting there.
They're just sitting there waiting for it to happen. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they still have all their money, correct? I mean, the codes are still in.
They still have all their money. Yeah.
Yep.
They're not going to send their money back at this close, even if we went to the first. I mean, because it's still here now. So.
Yeah. Sounds great. Well, I appreciate it very much. Appreciate the information. You guys have a great weekend. Hopefully you can tweet something out this weekend. Hey, you got the 800 numbers, and we'll go. But I do appreciate your help, Tony, on that, okay?
All right. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Have a great weekend.
Yeah, have a good weekend, guys.
All right. Take care.
All right.
Bye-bye.
281 area code. You are on.
Hey, Ray, Tony. How you guys doing today? Good.
Hey, super fantastic.
Well, good. I had a couple of questions. I'm good. Had a couple of questions. Catnip did ask one of my questions, and it was in regards to the Wells Fargo issue that they had with their systems yesterday. And my other question.
You talking about CIA lady? Is that her name, Catnip?
Yeah. CIA lady.
I never knew that. Oh, okay.
Oh, good.
I never knew that.
Okay. Yeah. But my other question was, we know that they have put the budget. I'm just trying to find what would be the significance of them putting the budget in the Gazette this time versus all the other times there has been some in there. Because we know all the other times they put things in the budget, but the rate didn't show. So for some reason, if they put it in there and it still comes out at the program rate, we see it in the 1190 or 1186, whatever it is. How, would it be, in your opinion, that they're just going to go ahead and convert it immediately? I guess we know that's happened in the past. What's your opinion on that? Because we know they can throw a wrench in the plan pretty much, sometimes. So.
Pretty much. We know at this point right now that the contractors were told that by the 2nd of February they would be paying the 1-to-1 rate. So we're thinking, and that means they're going to change the rate. They didn't do it by the 2nd of February, but they could do it by the 12th of February. But we know that's their plan this month is to change the rate.
Change the rate.
So that's what we're looking for. Yeah. They told the contractors that. They told the people that. They know they have their money. Everything's sitting there. They already put the numbers out for us. Once again, even though they weren't supposed to, they did the converted rate out, so we know that's their plan. We just have to wait and see it happen. Now, if it doesn't happen, we're all going to be mad as hell. But
right.
We'll find out what's going on after it doesn't. We don't know right now. Okay.
Yeah. So could it be, well, I guess it couldn't because you've told us that many times before, but Iraq people still, are they still the citizens, I'm saying? Because we haven't gone. Are they going? Are any of them getting their, all of them getting their money? Okay. So they still have it.
No, they are not. No. They're treating them the same way they treat us, like peasants. The rich get richer and the rest of us are just peasants. You'll get yours when we give it to you.
Right. Oh, I tell you, I'll be so glad when this is over. We can get started with the next phase. But we're going to hope and pray that they go ahead and do because they said they can retroact back to whatever, right, at whatever date.
Yeah, to when the budget goes into the 1st of January. They can take it all the way back.
Okay. So now, how far down in the year that they can do that? They can go as far in the year as they want to and retroact back to the first of the year without doing this. You know what I'm saying?
I do know what you're saying, and I don't know accounting-wise and money and people's paychecks and everything else, how far they would go back and have to redo all of that. Because if it took effect back then, guess what? All those people got paid, you owe them some money. Because it took effect on the 1st of January, right? So
right, true.
Everybody who paid their mortgage or their rent or went and bought something, you paid way too much for that because the money changed on the 1st of January. So it will affect the whole series of things, if they in fact did that. So,
right. Because I know that on a couple of other I guess you'd say calls out there. There was one call where they were saying that this one person has some, companies or banks over there or whatever his company is, and there were contracts that were signed with that particular company or owner or whatever with the contracts that they have over there, and they've already been paid 1-to-1. So a lot of people feel like they're working with two sets of books, in order to do the investing or the other company type thing.
We've been hearing that two sets of books. We've been hearing that even here that they changed the rate on a global scale so they wouldn't get caught in the middle of any transactions. And that could very well be. Now, we have contractors over there, and two of them are two of the largest contractors in Iraq. They were told when they're supposed to be paying one when they didn't. Now, one of them, he got his pay, and I did tell you guys, he got paid on his, and it was at the new rate, and they gave him over $5 million. And it was at the new rate on his contract. So if he continuing to be paid that way, I'd have to ask him. So
and that makes sense, I guess, because whatever they're agreeing in within the contract, that's something that's different than what, like you say, on what we're waiting for as far as the rate to change, the currency part of it. As far as in the systems, the rates on the screens or Forex and all of that, even though it's indirectly connected, but it's connected at some point, but at least they're working from contracts. And I think a lot of us was trying to figure out how that worked, but whatever their agreement is within the contract, I guess that's how they can get away with it or whatever. I'm not sure, but it didn't make sense to me either until I kind of heard that from another call, and then I remember you did tell us that a couple of weeks ago, so it makes sense. Okay, well, I'm going to move on and let someone else come in. Let's hope this thing comes in. I know I did hear, too, that if say, for instance, if we're looking for it for Wednesday, that they felt like the rate was supposed to, or more than likely, the CBI would be changing the rate before it hit the Gazette. Do you feel like that, or you don't think that matters?
Well, they can't change the rate before it hits the Gazette if it doesn't become law until it hits the Gazette. So that doesn't make sense, does it? I mean, if the budget has to become law first before it's implemented, then how do you change the rate before it becomes law?
Well, I think what they were trying to say that it's pretty much already done, but it's just not public yet. You know how so
and we've been hearing that. It is done.
Yeah.
Everybody I talked to over there, everybody that's involved with it, even my people at CBI are saying it's done. It's done. It's done. But just not showing it yet. But it is done.
Right.
This is the rate. So we've been hearing that for years, but even more so now that it's actually done. And they're just waiting for the rate. Now, did they need the budget? And if it was June or July and they just changed the rate, they just changed the rate. But now they're saying they're waiting for it to be recorded to change the rate.
Okay. All
So,
right.
Let's do it.
Okay. Well, thank you, sir. Can't wait to meet you guys. Hopefully we have the Vegas thing pretty soon. It's going to be summertime before we get to Vegas if they keep doing this. So maybe it may be good.
Well,
maybe it'll be hot.
Let's hope not. But you do know them little yellow buses aren't allowed in Vegas, right?
I'm not coming in a bus. I'm going to buy me a jet. I'll be down there in my jet, okay? You just go and release this thing. Bring somebody in my jet. That's what I'll do. All right. Y'all have a good day.
All right. You too. Thanks.
Bye-bye. 610, you are on.
Hey, good afternoon, Ray, and good morning, Tony. It's G-Man.
Good afternoon, sir.
How you doing, man?
I'm doing super fantastic, Tony, and it's another dynamite day here in the USA, ladies and gentlemen. For all of you who are new to the call and all of you who didn't know, all these calls and all the means of communication that Ray and Tony use to keep us informed need to be paid for, and it's up to all of us out here in the currency community to make donations in order to keep this information superstation on the air. You can help by going to www.TNTSUPERFANTASTIC.com, clicking on that red donate button, and when you do, the name and address will come up where you can send your check or money order made payable to Raymond Renfrow, P.O. Box 1748, Elm City, that's just like the tree, Elm City, North Carolina, 27822. And for those of you who would like to donate electronically, the Cash App is now available on the donation page. And if you're already familiar with and utilizing the Cash App, you can go to $TNT SuperFantastic, and you'll be able to make your donation electronically. Remember to do it today, ladies and gentlemen. You'll be very, very glad that you did. And again, Tony and Ray, thank you, gentlemen, for all you continue to do for us out here in the currency community. Thank you to both of your families for sharing you with us. Thank you to those 13 task force members still out there, making sure that the bankers and meeting facilities will be available for us post-RV. And I'll close out with Vegas, 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 verification, negotiation, diversification, protect your principal, and rally, 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 so I can come join you and enjoy some of that good home-style North Carolina barbecue. Thank you, gentlemen. Make it a dynamite weekend.
All right, sir. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So, G-Man,
yes, Tony.
You might have should have went down there when I tell you to, because Bill's already closed in Wilson, and that was some of the best barbecue. So they shut down, so you missed out. They were there like 20 years, 30 years. You should have went last year. But
really?
We'll find you some more somewhere. Okay.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
How about Parker's? Is Parker still there, Tony?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
See? There you go.
Okay.
And actually, yeah, Parker's was there before Bill, so I guess you're okay. But you need to get the cornbread. If you're going to get the barbecue, you got to get the cornbread. All right?
Absolutely. We're going to get it all. All right. Thank you very much.
All right, sir. 713. Wait a minute. Okay. Let me try it again. 713. You're on.
Hey, Ray, Tony, how y'all doing today?
Hey, I'm fantastic.
I'm super fantastic.
Degree. And yourself?
How are you?
I'm doing great, man. It's Friday. Happy Friday to y'all. You know, Friday's always a good day, right?
All right. It is for me.
Yeah, it's always a good day for me. So when I spoke to you guys on Wednesday, Tony, I'm going to ask you, did you get any more information from your committee, man, on the contracts for the dong? Has that been – I know you'd reached out to him that day and hadn't heard back yet on our call then. Have you heard back since then?
Still haven't heard back.
Okay.
Have not. He's hiding like everybody else.
It sounds like everybody's hiding, right. Earlier in the call, you had Ray had an email question or whatever. I just wanted to get clarification that the new notes were not being used. Is that you talk about the lower denoms there? Is that what you were referring to, that they're not in use yet?
Yes, the lower denoms have not been released yet.
Okay, I just thought so, but I want to be clear. And then you also said about, they're saying that it should be in the Gazette midweek next week, but then you said something that on TV they're saying no, they're gonna take it to court and could be 3 months.
Could take up 3 months.
Right.
Yeah, isn't that something? You're sitting down, you're having your morning coffee, and you're reading the newspaper, and it says this, and you look up at the TV and it says something totally different. Then what do? What
do? Shake your head at Iraq like always?
That's right. Hope and pray. That's all you can do.
That's all you can do. I mean, do you think? I mean, everybody you're hearing from, is that just one news source that you heard that from on one TV station, or that's something you're hearing multiple places?
Now, I only got it from over Iraq, so whatever news channel they were watching, that's what's being broadcast. I also only have one news article that we have, and anybody can go see, that says something different. So I know everyone I talk to, the banks and people there, are expecting it to happen now, not 3 months from now.
Okay, that's what I needed on that. Is there anything else there? Yeah, as far as the Gazette thing, so it's just we're waiting for it to be made public. I mean, it was sent to the Gazette. We know that, right? You said that last on Wednesday, and they're just waiting to record it, right?
That's it.
That's it. Is there anything else that you think could hold this up once it's done?
There's nothing else that I know of that could. Now, could they say we're still not doing it until you do the 2 ministers on the 1st of March? I mean, that's not what everybody's arguing about. Nobody's fighting about it. Nobody's not even talking about it anymore because that was supposed to be resolved. Could they say we're not going to do it until you solve the import-export position with Iran? Well, supposedly that was supposed to be done yesterday. They had an agreement. They signed it. They know what money they're using. They know what rate they're using it at. So we don't have that. Could they say, well, the U.S. is going to hold it up until you guys make sure you agree that our troops can stay here and watch Iran, which was the stupidest comment ever made. But anyway, I mean, because it's become a big issue now. And it was nothing. It was nothing, and you created something out of nothing just by a stupid comment. And now the whole country's up and roar. Now, can we wait to do that? No, because there's an agreement already in place. We just have to live with it. And if Iraq wants to change that, they got to go and, do it in their Congress and vote on it, and then try to get the U.S. to leave, which isn't going to happen anyway. So they're just making themselves look crazy doing it. But I don't think that's going to hold us up either. Okay.
So your gut is that once this is in the Gazette, we should be going. I mean, everything you're saying. I mean, the banks are on alert. They've got the money there still. They've got the codes. They've had the rates solid. I think you said for 2 weeks now, right? So everything's in place, right?
Yeah, everything's in place, and everybody's ready to go. And they're telling more and more people in the bank and getting them ready because, I mean, this is, again, I want to say this is the close we've been to it, but throughout the years, I know we were 10 minutes away one time when it didn't get done. And, I don't know how close we are right now. But as broad as it is, I mean, we're right here. We're right at the door, according to everybody else.
Okay. Well, that's all my questions. I appreciate your help, gentlemen, and all you do, and I'll drop off and let somebody else jump on. Thanks. All
right. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
972, you're on.
Hey, fellas.
Hey.
Down here in Texas, south of Dallas, waiting patiently. I woke up to crickets this morning and thought, well, maybe today. My daughter called me about 6:30 yesterday morning, and she said, Daddy, Wells Fargo won't let me have my money. And she was in a panic, and she said, it's all over the news. And then the other pseudo-gurus were saying that was because of what's going on with the currencies. As I heard you expound on that a little while ago, you indicate that that probably was not the case?
Well, nothing happened with the currency. I mean, we didn't have an RV, right?
But that's been the case for the
listen,
last
when somebody asked me, basically, okay, so Wells Fargo shut down all across the country to do a rate change when nobody else did. They don't have to change their rates too. They don't have to make sure the whole system works. We got 70 banks right now that do the Dinar and they do exchange, and none of them shut down all across the country. So people would just take anything and try and make something out of it.
Yes, I do. That's right. I do. The impetus was there being the lead bank might have been a factor. Let me back away from that. You've answered my question on that. The 800 number, when it comes out, is not in question in your scenario, and there will be several different 800 numbers across the nation. I'm assuming that's what you've communicated in the past, and that is still what you know at this point.
It's the only plan I know of now that makes any sense. Now, and I will tell you again, that our committee guy told us, these new guys, he calls them young kids because they're young, we can do it without that. When we don't need this, and we'll just let them go where they go, and it's just asking for trouble. But we'll see which plan wins.
Of course. Well, let me throw out another scenario. When we get the 800 number, do you anticipate you would have a conference call before that, or will it simply be a release?
I think when we get the numbers, we will post them on the site if they don't. And I say again, it's just, I would prefer they just send us a site that all you guys can go to, and they got everything already set up and running, and we don't have to create all that. It'd be the perfect scenario. Just give us direction to send you to, and the numbers. We'll send out a tweet. We'll put in the form, and we'll do a call at that time with any additional information that we know of. And everybody can just jump on the phone and start doing their thing.
Okay, well, when the rest of us are scurrying around the kitchen looking for a pencil to write down the phone number, I get the feeling that you'll give the phone number out, the 800 numbers, or the location, and then it may be 30 minutes, an hour before there's a conference call. Is that reasonable, or do you anticipate doing it immediately?
I wouldn't be giving out the 800 number because each region would have their own. So they're going to have to be listed somewhere for everybody to go and look and see the number in their region, first of all. So we would have it up, and then, within the hour we would do a call just to see everybody's excited, ask questions before you go to the bank, see how it's going, while they're dialing the 800 number, how fast appointments are coming up. And even after that, depending on what time it is, as people go in, because they wanted people in the bank within 2 hours of releasing it. They wanted to start doing exchanges within that 2 hours. So somebody's going to go in, first mouse, they're going to be excited. They're going to come back and post stuff in the forum. They're going to send Ray text. They're going to send me text. We're going to do some phone calls. And then everybody be part of the process and tell how it works for them.
Okay, last question. Okay. In times before, you've indicated what you thought was the favorite time period. We're working into a Friday afternoon here pretty quick. And, of course, 3:45 Eastern Time has been mentioned. But with the Gazette not having this information in it, can we write off today?
Ooh. Well, I wouldn't write off anything, but, you know, they said it's implemented immediately upon publication. Now, again, I'm thinking that CBI is going to wait for that and make sure it actually happens before they do it. They don't have to. I guess CBI could do it at any time, but then again, that's what they've been waiting for so far, so I don't keep changing at the last minute.
All right, my friend. Once again, you've shaken the cobwebs away a little bit, given us a little more information. I certainly appreciate it. You guys have a blessed weekend.
All right, okay. Thank you. And I know right now everybody's saying, yep, Tony is clear as mud. Okay, who's next, Jerry?
731 area code.
Good morning.
Hey, good afternoon.
Good morning. How are you?
It's the first time I've ever been able to talk to you. But I don't have a question. I just wanted to share something with you. Last week I ordered some dong from the local bank. I've ordered from them in the past and always had it within 2 days. Ordered this on Wednesday. And Wednesday this week I went in to ask them about it, and they said they had run out and they were having to order more from somewhere. So is this something that might indicate that they're cutting back on the supply?
No, I just think a lot of people in your area are listening to the call and get smart and running to buy dong every week.
Okay. I've never had any problem getting it in the past, so didn't know.
Yeah, somebody's buying it. So what you need to do is order 2 weeks' worth at one time from now on.
Well, I ordered 50 million, so that's enough for a couple of weeks.
Okay. All right. There it is. Yeah. All right. Thank you, sir.
All right.
Okay. 434 area code. You're next. 434. 434-665. Okay.
All right.
We'll go to 708 area code. You're on. 708. 612. No 708?
Yes.
Okay.
Hi, Ray.
Almost lost you. Hi there.
This is Miss J.
Oh, okay.
May I speak to Tony, please?
Oh, sure. You on the Q&A line?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I am here.
I only have a few things to ask you, Tony. First of all, my condolences to your family with the loss.
Well, thank you, but Ray lost his sister-in-law 2 days ago. So that's who you want to talk to. And we lost
your cousin.
Yes.
You're talking about your cousin, too?
Yeah, I'm talking about your cousin, too.
Okay, but I just wanted you guys to know that Ray lost his sister-in-law on Wednesday. So, also, and thank you.
Yes.
Okay.
You're welcome.
Well, thank you.
Tony, I was looking for a call. I sent you a package. I don't know if you received it or not.
When did you send it?
It arrived on the 4th.
You want to tell me what it was?
No. You call me and I'll tell you what it is.
Okay. I will, Ray. Can you write her number down? I will call you right after the call.
Thank you.
Was that it? You didn't have a question?
That's it.
That's it?
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you. I will call you afterwards. All right.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Okay.
765 area code. You are on.
Yeah, Ray and Tony, how we doing today?
All right, I'm fantabulous.
I'm super fantastic.
That's good. Hey, I got a question. Kind of playing the devil's advocate here a little bit. I called in back right before the elections last year and asked you guys, you guys were pushing the fact that there's no way a body would let this thing go past the elections. He would want to be the hero, so to speak, of having this done during his tenure. Then we didn't get it done before the elections. Then, the elections, everybody thought this thing was going to be done in just a few days. They was going to announce results, and then that drug out 3 or 4 months. Then all of a sudden the elections were over with. We had a prime minister. Then we were having to wait on the parliament to get appointed. That dragged out another 3 or 4 months. Now all of a sudden we've got this budget deal. Parliament's still not full. What makes you guys think that Iraq just seems to have a tendency to not give a crap whether they do this or not? What makes you guys think that they're just not going to continue to drag this on? I know that there's things you guys feel like need to happen or have happened or whatever, but I mean, it just seems like we get the one goal line and then they just move the goal line down a little farther, and then we think we got to get to something else and we hit that mark and then they move that down a little farther. What's your thought?
Okay. Well, my thought is everything that you just mentioned we went through. And now everything that we're seeing, articles, other countries, people going over there congratulating them, people putting deals with them, and you're reading these articles, and I don't know if a bunch of you guys are. They're all referring to Iraq and how rich the country is, how much money they're going to have, how much their GDP is going to go up this year, everything. All that's based on them actually doing this. It's based on them doing the reconstruction and everything else that they had no money to work with. So some of those this is what's going to happen. Some of those articles are past tense, like they know it has already happened. They are one of the richest countries, but they've been the poorest country for the last 13 years. Now all of a sudden, they're the richest country in the area. That means something's going on in the background, and we're about to see it. So that's all we can go by, because you're right. The banks have been trying to do this for 10 years, just like we have, training people, setting them up in offices, sequestering them, everything. They've gone through it all, just like we have. The only thing, and Iraq has been trying to do it for 10 years. They want the money. No, they didn't want the new laws. They didn't want the new banking rules. They didn't even want the new banking technology. They just wanted the money so they could keep stealing it. But our government put in place, no, you're not going to steal it. And until we know it's protected, you're not going to have it. Well, they passed all that. They've been removed. All the sanctions have been removed. They've made international. Every country is accepting them. They've been paired. I mean, just everything is done except for them releasing it. So that's why I think this time it will be released.
So how big of a role does Trump, you think, at this point plays in this thing? You think he's kind of calling a lot of the shots or pushing a lot of this stuff along, or do you think it is still in Iraq's hands?
I think it's in the plan's hands. Okay, and the plan that they had and how far it is being completed, which it sounds like it really is. Now, did it go and did we stop it? Yes, we have. For whatever reason it was the U.S. that stopped it. So, whether it was security reason or just it's really you didn't appoint who I wanted you to appoint as defense ministry yet, or we need to see how we're going to work this situation out before, we give all this money. And that has been a concern to somebody from Iran in that defensive or interior position. Now, right now, Mahdi is saying he's going to have that position. He doesn't have to fill that position until June the 30th. He now has up to June the 30th to fill that position. Can we go ahead and release it, change it while it's all under his control, move the money out, and the U.S. still have some influence before June the 30th show up? Absolutely. But that would let some things happen. So I'm not sure, because they gave him to June the 30th, that it was going to hold up the RV June the 30th. It doesn't seem that way right at this moment. Based on what the banks are telling me, what my CBI guy over there is telling me, and what my contractors over there are saying, it's not going to go that way. That's not the information they are getting.
Okay. Do you think that the U.S.-China trade deal plays into this at all? I know that you've always said that the U.S. and China were kind of the two big money people kind of backing this whole thing as far as with Zimbabwe and a lot of this stuff. So do you think the U.S.-China trade deal has any part in this?
No. And this is the problem. There's so many things going on in the world. You know, everybody can't relate everything to the RV. The trade deal is going to be a separate deal, okay? The U.S. and China is a separate deal. The U.S. is involved with this, and the partner for the U.S. is Britain, not China. China came in, and that's why they can buy the dinar from us. That's where the groups came from. Because they weren't part of the deal, they can't regulate the deal, but they could do personal contracts to buy it from us. So they're not restricting it. And people say that all the time. China wants this done. China wants it done on this holiday. China's 888 numbers. I hear all that BS and been here for years, and there's absolutely nothing to do with it.
Okay. So do you think today is still a day that's a possibility, or do you think it's going to have to be at least after tomorrow when the Gazette comes out, and hoping that maybe it's in the Gazette tomorrow, or do you think we're into next week waiting on this Gazette, or do you think the budget is already approved and we're not waiting on the Gazette?
The budget is approved. We already know that. It's already been signed off by the president and went to the Gazette. So you have to ask yourself, why would they send it over there if they didn't want it to be signed, if they didn't want it to be published? The president had 15 days to approve it. If they wanted to drag it out another 15 days, why didn't he just leave it on his desk? But he didn't. Yep. He signed it immediately and sent it out. Same day. I mean, how often do they do anything the same day? So now it's sitting over there. So I would think they intend to do something with it. I mean, today at 3:45 is a great time.
Happen today or tomorrow?
I think the bank has people sitting there. I think it could absolutely happen today or tomorrow. And I do think they don't want us to know the moment that it is, so they do things to throw it off. They say things to throw it off.
When I heard on open mic this morning when Tish brought to the room, I don't remember who her source was, but something about they'd been printed that it may not go out in the Gazette until Monday or Tuesday or midweek. I kind of thought to myself right then that, that could be what they're trying to tell people now, just so they can spring this on us over the weekend, and nobody's really sitting around expecting it because they're waiting on it to happen next Tuesday or Wednesday. So, all righty. Well, thanks for everything. Thanks for everything you guys do. I appreciate it.
All right. You too. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, let's see. 205. You're up.
Good morning. Good afternoon, guys. This is Steve from Alabama. How y'all doing?
All right. Good afternoon.
Tony, you were talking about putting the information in the forum. Now, since I'm new to this, I'm able to go onto that site and get updates. But do you have to be a member of the forum? The way I understand it, that it's closed now to people because it's full, to be able to get that information? Or are you talking about putting the information just in an update, like I have been getting recently?
Okay, so we have 3 sites. Okay, superfantastic.com, .info, and .org. .net. All right, we got 3 or 4. So what we're gonna do is actually I have a computer guys ready. When they give me the information, we're gonna load a separate page on those sites and send out a text and say you can go to either one of those sites and gather the information. So everybody's not going to the same site. So we can do that. So that's how to be there so everybody can get it. You won't have to actually go into the forum.
There'll basically be like a link that you click on in the tweet that will take you to that.
I don't know that I'm going to do all that. But anyway. Okay. Yeah. I might put the sites up there. You can type it in and go to that page.
Okay.
And then all the information will be up there. Now, unless they're really, really smart. I mean, the bank people. And they send me a link that I could just text it out to everybody, tweet it out, and, all 138,000 of you can get it at one time and go straight to their page where the information is, which would be a great thing for them to do if they would do that. And then we could just have a phone call and talk about it.
Right. But at least the information will be there for us to type in that will take us to wherever we need to go.
Yeah. When we put it on the site, even if it's a page, it's going to be accessible to everyone. Okay?
All right. Another question. Do you think, because we know those people over in Iraq are just the way they are, do you think the trading markets of the dollar could still be holding this back somehow, giving them an opportunity to get that last-minute corrupt money before this thing switches?
So, do I think that the auction is the reason they're not doing this, and they want to continue to steal millions of dollars a day? Is that the issue?
Yeah, I guess it's like still some between the corrupt people and the new parliament and everything is the argument between those guys, and really the bottom line is they want to stay in the auctions as long as they can, which makes sense if they're making money no matter how they're making it, corruptly or incorruptly.
It does make sense, and we know that Maliki and some others have always been fighting doing this for that same reason, that they were getting paid. And they've been fighting, they were fighting getting the banking laws in place. They were fighting getting the anti-corruption or anti-money laundering laws in place. They were fighting getting the corruption laws in place. Why? Because, yes, they were continuing to get millions of dollars a day as the auctions went through. But now those things have gone through. Now they have been approved. Now they have a way to arrest them for doing what they're doing. So we're not actually hearing that or seeing them fighting it like that anymore. So it's just a matter of when do we release it. So I'm not sure that they're still not holding it up, or I'm sure they're still trying to, but I don't know that that's going to work. I think once the budget is done, it's going to be done. Okay.
I understand.
I really think this is the last thing we have to do.
All right. And one last question. Let's just say, hypothetically, this thing goes this afternoon. What would your tweet look like, or how would it read when it comes out, letting us know that it's happened, or the 800 numbers? Could you just kind of speculate what it would sound like or what it would read like?
Yep. You get a tweet and you look at it, would say, "Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Guess what just happened?" And then the RV has arrived. Okay. No, I would say, I probably would say, "Oh my God, I can't believe it. It's live. It's ready. Let's get started." Something to that effect. Here's your information. Go to the site. We plan on doing a call in the next 30, 40 minutes to explain anything that we need to explain to you. And we wait and do the call, and we do it. But I'll give you the site, right there. I don't know how we're going to get it, what information we're going to get it, but trust me, when you read it, you will know it's the RV. Okay?
Okay. And my work is kind of crazy. They ask us to cut our cell phones off and not be on our phones and stuff because my job's kind of crazy. But anyway, so just if I was to happen to miss that, it will be recorded like everything else, so I could go back and listen to it at a later time if I'm not able to catch it live in the moment when the call takes place.
Oh, yeah. We're going to record everything.
All right. Well, thank you guys for your time. Thank you for what you do. And, hey, just looking forward to being in the bank next week. What you think?
Okay. Let's do it. I mean, I'm okay with this weekend. I don't have anything to do.
Well, I don't either. We just
all right. All right. Thank you, sir.
Y'all have a good one.
Okay. Take care. 918 area code. You're on.
Good afternoon, fellas.
Hey, sir.
All right.
My question is for Ray with regard to a phrase you have mentioned from time to time on your Sunday morning open mic call. The question is whether the RV happens next week or 4 months from now. Is it still your opinion that the phrase you've used, the right hand, is guiding this to completion?
The right hand is guiding this to completion.
Yes, sir.
I don't recall ever using that phrase. Maybe you listened to somebody else.
Nope. Sure didn't. But that was my question. You had mentioned on several occasions, everyone's looking at the left hand. You should be looking at the right hand. And on the Sunday morning call, you expounded that to mean our government.
No, that's what you wanted it to mean. I say exactly what I want people to know and understand, and I put it out there. Now, what you've been hearing me say is everybody's looking at the left hand, you're not paying attention to the right hand. But I never said the right hand is the one that's going to drive this to the RV. See, those are your words and your interpretation. I never said that. I just always said, we're all watching the left hand, but you're not paying attention to the right hand. That just means that there's two things going on here,
right.
And everybody's only looking at one side of it.
Right. That was my question today then. Educate me. Is the right hand guiding this? I mean, you tell me what you mean by right hand. That's why I'm asking.
Well, I just did. It's what people aren't looking at. And we phrase it another way also when we say don't pay attention to what they say, watch what they do. That's the same thing. The left hand and the right hand. You're not looking at both hands. Folks are going based on what's being said, but they're not looking at what Iraq is doing or what the government may or may not be doing. We have to take both sides of that street at the same time. So I wasn't saying anything what you're thinking other than don't look at this all one-sided. And that's what a lot of folks are doing. One dimension.
The right hand and the left hand, then, you're confining it to Iraq.
Oh, okay.
So let's do this. I think all he's really saying, and we have again, is they're doing one thing or saying one thing and doing something else. So you're always looking for what they're saying instead of what they're actually doing. You know, we're looking at the budget being done. We're waiting for the rate being done. Everything else, those are numbers. And while we're concentrating on that, we're making all these agreements with these countries at the program rate, and they're talking about it, but we're not even watching how much it's going to bring on, how rich Iraq is now, how, articles out today are saying Iraq is international with these other countries. They're making these international agreements. Well, how do you make international agreements with currency if your currency isn't international? That doesn't make sense, does it? So people are saying Iraq's not international. Well, they're doing a whole lot of international deals. They're putting together a whole lot of agreements to do that. I mean, they put an article out, showed each country what they were paired to and what the rate is for them not to be international. But we're just waiting for this budget to go and for some clown to say, now they're international, now we can go.
Okay.
Watch what they're doing, not what they're saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just take it a step above that, looking at it really on an international basis, if you will. The slow rollout that we've had, in just my opinion, is under the guidance of the U.S., and that's why it's been rolled out real slow, because my understanding, it will only happen when it is politically and economically correct for it to go down. And maybe we're here. Hope so. But
okay, politically, it will never happen because it's never going to be broadcast to the world. They're never going to know that. Now, I know Trump stood up the other day and said there's going to be an economic miracle. And everybody heard that and said, oh, he just said it. It's about to happen, which God knows, I hope he's right. But he's never going to say, we stole all this money from Iraq. We went over there, took all their oil. We did all this. The war paid for itself, and it wiped out our debt. And that's what that whole thing was all about. The public's never going to know that. That's not going to happen.
Yeah, that I agree with. And I'm glad to hear he said that on the speech. I was occupied. I didn't watch the speech. But there's the right hand extends a little further, in my opinion. But that's just me.
Okay.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right, sir. And guys, I mean, everybody here should have learned. Well, we should have been learning the whole time. And I usually tell people in business, whether it goes right or wrong, investments right or wrong, that's the price of my education. I said, I know what my education cost me in each instant that I won or lost. That's the price of education. And I don't look at it as winning or losing. I look at it as becoming educated so I can do the right thing the next time. You guys are going to have to do that in negotiations in life. When you get this money, when you do things, you're going to have to hear people. I don't care. You're going to have to hear investors. You're going to have to hear partners. You're going to have to hear people bringing you opportunities and everything else. And you're going to have to pay close attention, again, not to what they say, but what they actually do. Because that's going to be the critical part in every negotiation. Because a lot of people are going to tell you, I'll have this done on Wednesday or Thursday, or I'll do this or that. And you'll notice that they don't, and you thought they did. Or it's going to cost you some money, or you got to have it here the next 24 hours. Whenever somebody tells me something like that, well, where's yours? Oh, I'm going to do mine later, but you got to do yours now. I'm not doing it. Okay. Hear what they say, but watch what they do. It's probably going to be one of the most important things in your life after this happens. It should be right now. Okay, Ray, let's do next.
Okay, 828 area code. You're on.
Is that me?
Yes. Yes, ma'am. How are you?
I'm doing awesome. Long-time listener, first-time caller. Thank you to both of you and the entire team for all you've been doing through these years. First of all, I think I can speak to the Wells Fargo issue. I have a business account with Wells Fargo, and I called our business banker because a direct deposit was not reflected. And he told me that I knew I had problems accessing the website yesterday, but I didn't pay attention. And so he said that nobody's been able to access it, that there was a fire. No, he said a smoke. He figured probably fire, but there was severe smoke in one of the hubs that houses their servers. So that was the deal. So they've been trying to catch everybody back up again and get everything going. So that's the scoop on Wells Fargo from North Carolina. The question I had is, I thought that Mahdi had sent the budget to the budget to the Gazette last week, and I just wondered if there were any ideas on what is holding up their process of posting it in the Gazette. Is that like another approval process? Because I would think that if once he has sent it, that it would be posted shortly thereafter.
Well, that is the million-dollar question. Because, yes, he sent it immediately, or the president immediately, and it only took him 1 day to sign it. And he sent it to the Gazette to be posted. And now we're all trying to figure out how come it wasn't posted on Wednesday? How come it wasn't posted on Saturday? How come we didn't see it this Wednesday? I mean, what's the purpose of it sitting over at the Gazette? Like I said, if they wanted to hold it up, he could have just held it because he had 15 days to sign it. Why did he sign it the same day, send it over there, and we still don't see it? That is the question.
Does anybody have authority over him to say, let's sit on it without posting it, or do you think that that would be coming directly from his direction?
No, I think it would have to be coming from them. I mean, but when they send something to the Gazette, you're going to see it, the next publication. But we're not, and I can't answer to you why. I mean, I wish I could, because it'd make all of us more relaxed if we knew, but we don't know.
Okay, thank you. I really appreciate it. I'll let the next caller get on.
All right, thank you, man.
Okay. 413, area code, you are on.
Hello, gentlemen. Thank you very much for having us on the call.
You're welcome. Okay.
I'm glad your voice is better, Tony. Thank you for not struggling through. That was hard to listen to you the other day, but we all appreciate you. I wanted to ask about, similar to like what that conversation was, you had mentioned the other day, North Carolina and Vegas. Two locations where stuff had transpired. Do you think that was probably more the reason, where if the banking system is trying to process whatever amounts of currency have to be done in those areas for the people who are already in touch, and I could just assume maybe part of the elite crowd or people that already have fiduciary contacts in a regular way, is that possible to impact the system in those locations?
So, you're asking me, since some people already went to the bank and exchanged, and they were in North Carolina, and she just said she was in North Carolina, and Charlotte is the banking hub, did they run so much money through the system that the server caught on fire? Is that what you're saying?
Well, I don't know, I don't know what to believe
Okay.
when someone says that this is the reason. So I was suggesting that what she was told was not the real reason. Was it because of what actually transpired earlier in the week?
Okay. And I don't know, guys, because I don't think the server in North Carolina, and even that one hub, because they have more, is affecting every Wells Fargo in the country. No bank or business operates like that, all right?
Okay.
Not only that, but that's the answer she got from her guy in North Carolina. And I told you guys early, the guy in Arizona was told it was because a bunch of currencies were changing rates, and they were trying to line the system up so it'd all be done.
Okay.
So somebody in Texas probably got a different story. Who knows?
Okay. But these individuals the reports all came through Wells Fargo because that's one of the primaries besides HSBC?
So now you're asking the people who got paid, were they all going through Wells Fargo? Is that what you're asking?
Yes.
Okay. So in Reno, it was Wells Fargo. In Greensboro, North Carolina, it was Wells Fargo. In Charlotte, it was probably Wells Fargo. You know, people who got calls, and I got guys who have calls, people I personally know, and the banker said, get ready, we'll get ready to go. I'm going to call you and bring your stuff. Those were Chase banks because they were ready to go, and they started calling their people and told them to get their stuff ready and come on. But here we still sit, right?
Thank you for the
now,
clarification.
the guy
I don't know that I caught that.
The guy in Greensboro, I'm just blowing Greensboro up right now because you guys know that. They actually showed him the rates on the screen and told him to come back the next day, and they were going to do his exchange. Well, the next day just hasn't happened yet because he went back, and they still didn't do it. So, but there it is. Okay.
Okay. I wanted to ask you if I understand with the whole situation with not being involved, what you can say or what you can post may be limited or could be limited, and even by your own protections, so that there's no, issues from the information you receive, nor to what you deliver to us as our group. And I know I've been on and listened to the majority of most of your calls, either on replay or live, and I wanted to know, I really appreciate when you tell stories, meaning that correlations, not real things, not real people. It doesn't matter about that so much, to keep whatever you have to close to your chest. But if you were willing to post anything about a story about how I know that you've described what your interest is, and you understand that everybody's interest is different to some degree. But and it's really going into the bank, not having the experience with wealth management, with this amount of possibility. I appreciate the conversations about the trust, and that you really have to know what you're talking about, what you're asking for. And in that light, not about the trust specifically, but just about the negotiating in the bank, would you be willing to post a list of questions to consider depending on the scenario? And I understand it could be very general, but would you be willing to put something on post about things to ask?
Okay.
Or things not to forget, or any type of general.
All right, hold on. One second. You got? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Yes. Okay. This is what we have to do. I want to help everybody, and I want to help you best I can, but I can't advise anybody on what to do. I'm not licensed to do that. Anything else, I can't tell you where to invest your money, anything else. What I can do is have a conversation with you. I can have a conversation, or we all can have a conversation together just like we are now. When people go to bank, they can bring their experiences back. We can share those on our calls.
Okay.
And I always tell you, this is what I would do. I can't tell you what to do. I can advise you, but if you want my opinion on what I would do, I can always share that. And that's what I do. Doesn't mean that's what you do. If you want to know what Tony would do in any scenario, I can share that with you.
Yes.
And I would be willing to do that.
I would, because the capacity that a portion of us are gearing towards is, it may not, I will assure you that all of us are not to the same degree or extent in any one area. I was one of those people that was kind of very quiet for many, many years. I've been involved with this for 9 years. I was just listening and paying attention and listening for cues. Just recently went through a whole load of just YouTube videos on potential things that are going on in and around the government. And many, many, many of those, along with the stuff that we've seen hit the newspapers recently, have been all about Zimbabwe, all about Venezuela, all about the, Europe. Every single country has had a little play, a little piece. I've never been one to feel that I could even go to a friend, family member, or anyone and suggest that they do what I did 9 years ago, because it was a serious consideration what I initiated. But I today to say I went into a TD Bank, I don't know, a month ago or so, when it started ringing every single call that you were like, go buy some Dawn, just go do it, $50, whatever you would sideline. And that's basically how I've described it to people around me. It's like, okay, I know people can do $50. And I want to do for everybody around me, but I know that I can't right now. So that was very liberating to say, I'm not worried if they tie at $50, and I tell them to go do it themselves. And I tell them that, hey, what's the worst thing? That if you come back to me and said, well, you can go back and if you don't want to wait, go back and exchange it back and just pay the exchange fee and you're done, but that was very liberating. So, thank you for continuing to pound that out to us. I really appreciate that. That was a big help for me to feel like, I can do something. I can spread to people around me that I care about that are, they're intelligent human beings and they can get off their butt and go do something for themselves, whether how big or how small they feel it is. I know how great it can be and will be. And also, when I went into a TD Bank locally in another city nearby, purchased some Dong myself. It came in, and when it did, or when I ordered it, the gentleman across the counter from me that I was ordering it with, he was, I don't know that he was a manager. I think he was a supervisor or something in the bank, a head teller. And I asked him, have you looked into this because you work in the banking industry? He was a young man. And I said, just a question. Have you looked, have you thought, have you heard? And he absolutely said that like one of either his father or a close family member had gotten involved in similar things, other currencies, and 3 weeks later, he's no longer working in the bank. Just go figure.
Okay.
So.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad to hear you doing that. Everybody should do it. I still do it with my friends. They call me, any update? I say, yeah, go to the bank and get 50, and get you another million. Get you another million. I tell them that every Friday, just get you another million. I mean, $500,000, $1 million extra for the week, $50. You're going to spend that tonight in the bar anyway. And and that's just, I just do it that easy. That's all. But it's a good feeling. They're going to love me to death, when it does happen. I know I did the right thing. But most importantly, they're not going to ask me for any money. I'm not giving them money.
Right. Well, I wasn't worried about the my own direct family. I do have 2 siblings that are both in the banking industry, licensed brokers. They can advise me. They can do things when the time comes. But they've also been trained by the industry. So that little glimpse was fantastic. And I wanted to ask you, I know I'm not in the group for the the TNT Superfantastic website. I'm not on the forum or can't get into the forum. But I wanted to just extend myself to say that I know I can't travel around and do things right now, but because I've dealt from the mortgage industry and other areas, and no, I'm not licensed, but I am more than willing to be helpful, be a mouthpiece, or help the task force, will say. I'm a doer. So if when the time comes and you need more help, and especially in our area of the Eastern Seaboard, I'd be very happy to participate and help you guys.
All right. Thank you, ma'am. I appreciate it. All right.
So if you want to...
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, we'll get it, and I appreciate it. And afterwards, as we go to different regions, we'll see if there's people wanting to do things and help us. But we appreciate you. All right.
So when I made a donation, I tried to make a donation 2 months ago, and I tried 2 times in the same day, and both times it just refunded back. It wouldn't go through, and I didn't know why.
Yeah, that happens sometimes, but we don't know how to control that.
Oh, okay.
But thank you, though.
Basically, like send it in by mail?
I don't know. All right. But we appreciate it anyway, and you'll be on the list. Just mail it into them. Well, you'll be on the list. So don't let that.
Well, it was letting you know that I didn't know if you were aware that people were trying to do some donations that weren't going through. I didn't know if you actually could see that, or if there was a way to fix it. And I'd be more than happy to talk to somebody.
Oh no, yeah, Ray sees it. It's okay. All right, thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right, have a good weekend.
You too.
All right, sir, let's wrap this one up.
Oh, okay. I thought you started playing some music. I was going to say, what you doing? Oh, you are playing some music.
That's
okay,
right.
guys. It is Friday. Anything could happen on a Friday. I don't know what's going to happen, but anything could happen. So right now, today's paper says in 2 days or midweek, the budget will be in the paper and it will be finalized. Even though it's official, been signed off, it should be in the paper and become law somewhere in the middle of the week. Whatever that is, Iraq time. That's what it says. After that, if not before, we should be seeing this and let the party begin. So right now, enjoy your Friday, your weekend. If something happens, we'll be back. We'll have the information, and we'll get started. So until then, enjoy your weekend. Ray?
Okay, you said it all for the weekend. So, folks, keep believing. We sure do.